Loneliness isn't a curse, it's a gateway to transformation. History's greatest minds like Nikola Tesla thrived in solitude, unlocking abilities few can comprehend. If you felt isolated, it's not by accident. You are being shaped for something greater. Stay with me because today we're uncovering 5 hidden superpowers that set you apart. Solitude is a crucible, a silent force that reshapes the mind, sharpens perception, and unveils powers hidden beneath the noise of the world. It does not weaken those who embrace it, it forges them into something unbreakable. What most people fear, being alone with their thoughts, is precisely what creates the strongest individuals. It is in isolation that the mind learns to govern itself. Emotions bend to discipline, and clarity of purpose rises like a blade cutting through illusion. Emotional resilience is the first gift of solitude. When one is constantly surrounded by people, reactions are immediate, emotions are dictated by external forces, and control over one's own state of mind is lost. But when distractions fade and there is no one left to validate feelings, an internal reckoning begins. At first, the silence is overwhelming. Thoughts race uncontrollably, and past wounds resurface. The mind rebels against itself, trying to escape the discomfort of its own presence. Yet, those who endure this stage begin to develop an extraordinary skill: detachment from transient emotions. Instead of being ruled by impulses, they learn to observe them, to understand their origins, and ultimately to master them. Anger, fear, doubt, these emotions lose their power when confronted repeatedly in isolation. What emerges is a mind as steady as stone, unaffected by external chaos. This is why those who thrive in solitude often exude an aura of calm that unsettles those who rely on constant validation. They have mastered themselves, while the world remains enslaved to fleeting emotions. Beyond emotional resilience, solitude grants the power of perception. Most live on the surface, only seeing what is presented to them, but isolation sharpens a different kind of sight. Without external distractions, the mind starts noticing subtleties, tones of voice, micro-expressions, shifts in energy that reveal the truth beneath spoken words. A room full of people becomes an open book, their intentions laid bare to those who have trained their perception in silence. It is a skill developed not by effort, but by necessity. When one is alone, observation becomes second nature. This heightened awareness allows one to navigate the world with precision, identifying deception before it manifests, sensing hidden opportunities where others see nothing. It is why visionaries, inventors, and great minds often appear to operate on a different level. They see what others cannot because they have spent years developing sight beyond the physical. With perception sharpened, the mind then unlocks a higher level of focus. When there is no social noise, no opinions clouding decisions, the ability to concentrate intensifies. The mind stops oscillating between trivial distractions and locks onto a singular objective. This is why those who embrace solitude become creators, innovators, and thinkers, capable of seeing ideas through to completion, while others abandon theirs halfway. In a world drowning in constant stimulation, where people struggle to focus for minutes, those who have trained in solitude possess a rare and terrifying power: the ability to sustain deep, undisturbed thought for hours, days, even weeks. This is how great discoveries are made, how complex problems are solved, how seemingly impossible feats are achieved. The world calls it genius, but it is merely the result of uninterrupted thought, a commodity so rare that few will ever experience its full strength. From focus arises decisiveness. The constant need for validation, the indecision that plagues the masses, disappears when one learns to trust their own judgment. When a person spends enough time alone, their inner voice becomes clear. Choices are no longer dictated by fear of disapproval or the opinions of others, but by pure alignment with one's core principles. This is why truly independent thinkers do not waver. They have spent enough time in isolation to refine their values, to cut away the unnecessary, and to reach a state where every decision is executed with conviction. Doubt belongs to those who have never taken the time to listen to themselves. Clarity belongs to those who have embraced the silence. Empathy deepens in solitude, not in the way most imagine, but in a way that transcends surface-level compassion. When a person has faced their own suffering without distraction, they gain an intimate understanding of human pain. They recognize the weight behind a forced smile, the sorrow hidden in casual words. This does not make them emotionally vulnerable. It makes them capable of seeing others in ways that most never do. They do not fall for performances, for the facades people present to the world, because they have already unmasked themselves in their own solitude. This depth of empathy does not lead to weakness, but to strength. It allows them to connect with others on a level so profound that it bypasses pretense entirely. When they speak, they do not offer surface-level comfort, but truth, and that truth has the power to transform those who are ready to hear it. Solitude also rewires the perception of time. While most view time as something to be filled, those who have mastered isolation see it as raw material to be shaped. They do not waste it on distractions, meaningless entertainment, or fleeting pleasures. Instead, they invest it in refining their skills, expanding their knowledge, creating something of lasting value. This is the true secret of those who appear to accomplish more in a few years than others do in a lifetime. Their relationship with time is different. They understand that every hour spent in focused solitude compounds into something greater. This is why the most powerful minds in history withdrew from society for long periods. They were not escaping the world, they were creating something that would outlast it. Loneliness is a misinterpreted gift. It does not break those who embrace it, it elevates them. It is the training ground for those destined to operate on a higher level, those who refuse to be trapped by the distractions that ensnare the rest of the world. While others seek constant stimulation, those who walk this path develop an internal world so vast, so rich with depth, that they no longer need external validation to feel whole. They are self-contained, drawing strength from their own reservoirs of thought and creation. This is why the rarest individuals, those who shape history, are often solitary figures. It is not that they reject the world, it is that they have seen beyond it. They have stepped outside the constant cycle of distraction, conformity, and superficiality. And in doing so, they have unlocked abilities most will never experience. They have developed an inner silence so powerful that it drowns out the noise of the world, allowing them to operate with clarity, purpose, and relentless focus. It is in this silence that greatness is born, not in the approval of others, not in fleeting connections, but in the vast, unshaken solitude of the mind that has learned to govern itself.